lovelies, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's practice is all about the spine. So we're going to be focusing on the upper back, mid back, the lower back, the whole spinal column, moving through kind of really nourishing movements for the spine. That's going to help us find perhaps a little bit more fluidity, move through any kind of clunkiness or tightness that may be there, and see if we can find perhaps a little bit more stability as the spine kind of works to hold us, but also that freedom to move as well. In terms of anything you may need for your practice today, maybe a couple of blocks. I'm going to be possibly using a blanket today because I've got a slightly dodgy knee, so feel free to bring any of those things in, and then when you're ready, and you're going to come down onto your backs, but as you do, just make sure you've got a bit of space around you because you are going to be circling the arms around and around. I'll explain that in a little bit more detail in a moment. Okay, so let's come down onto our backs. You can bring the soles of the feet down towards the mat, knees pointing up to the sky, and steadily rolling down bone by bone. See if we can find each vertebrae meeting the mat here. And you can take a moment as you arrive, back of the head grounded down, shoulder blades nestle underneath you. And in fact, let's just take a few moments to settle here. You can softly close off the eyes, close off the outside world. And just perhaps starting to bring your awareness to all the parts of your body that are currently in contact with the earth. So you might start with the soles of the feet, the tailbone, the very base of your spine. And again, perhaps there might be little movements here and there as we really try to press each vertebrae down and towards the mat. So the lower spine here is also grounded. Working our way up the length of the spine, and again, there's that space at the back of the head. Feeling rooted here. And as we notice these places of the body that have got that sturdy foundation, that connection to the earth beneath, perhaps just checking on how those places feel as they are here. Perhaps we can feel as though we're drawing up the energy from the earth, feeling the movement of the earth beneath our feet. We might even feel that soft pull downwards, that pull of gravity welcoming us down into the mat. And then perhaps maybe, on the other hand, noticing the places of the body that are lifted away from the mat. There might be that little space of the arch of the foot that's lifted away from the ground. The back of the calves, knee, back of the thigh. That little space at the back of the neck. And as these places aren't in contact with the ground, maybe there's a sense of lightness here, a sense of airiness. So it's almost like we're getting the benefits of both here. Feeling as though we're kind of floating just off the ground, floating in the air, but still feeling rooted, still having that foundation beneath us. Let's take a steady breath in. Steady breath out. And then in your own time, we're just going to softly roll to the left hand side. So you might kind of push down through the feet to lift the hips off the ground slightly. Send them slightly to the right as you roll to the left. As you come onto your left hand side here, let's bring the knees and the ankles to stack, and you're going to stretch the left arm out towards the left hand side, and that right palm is going to rest on top. Let the head be supported here. If you need to, you can bring a block underneath the head so it's slightly lifted so that the head is kind of not hanging down towards the ground. Takes a little bit of pressure off the neck. Okay. And then from here, keeping right fingertips in contact with the ground as best as you can. And all you're going to do is start to circle the right arm up and above behind the head. Now as you go, the fingertips softly drift across the ground. As the hand comes behind the head, we start to roll the right shoulder back, rolling onto our backs, but we still keep the knees where they are. And we circle, opening out into a spinal twist. We can reach that right arm out to the right hand side. Maybe send your gaze to look up to the sky, or you might turn and kind of follow those right fingertips. Take a breath in, breath out. And as we inhale, we start to make our way back. And again, we keep the fingertips in close contact with the ground the entire time. So you start to circle all the way back. And eventually that right palm lands on top of the left. Take a breath out as you arrive. Inhale, let's go again. Just circling the right fingertips round and round. Opening out into that spinal twist, and again, have a breath out as you arrive. Okay, inhale, let's make our way back. As you go, depending on how much space you have, see if you can really stretch out through the fingertips. So drawing as much of a half circle as you can with those fingertips. Let's go once more on this side. So again, breath out as you arrive. Inhale, stretching those right fingertips away from you as you begin to circle all the way around. Rolling that right shoulder back, heart opens up to the sky into that twist. Beautiful. And again, breath out as you arrive. Inhale, start to softly make your way back. Beautiful. Take your time. No need to rush. Okay, and as that right palm lands on top of the left, again, take a breath out. Okay. And then just nice and easy, you're going to roll back onto your back. So maybe that right hand kind of comes down by the right hand side. We push down through the hands and feet to lift the hips off. Send them to the left so you can come to lie on your right hand side. Okay. And again, we can bring the knees and ankles to stack on top of one another. Left palm comes to stack on top of the right palm. Allow the head to be supported here, and it's exactly the same on the other side. So we kind of stretch the left fingertips away. Inhale as we begin to circle that left arm up and over. Round the back of the head. Beautiful. Maybe the back of the hand connects down towards the earth and the shoulder blade connects down. We open out into that twist, and you can follow your left fingertips and look towards the left hand side, or maybe just look up to the sky here. Breath out as you arrive. Inhale, make your way back. Beautiful. Exhale. Let's keep that going. Inhale, stretch out through those left fingertips, softly opening into that spinal twist, letting the heart shine towards the sky. Breath out as you arrive. Inhale, making your way back. Exhale. One final time, inhale. Feel free to go at your own pace. So if this feels slightly rushed for you, slow it down. Take your time. And then when you're ready to, making your way back. Beautiful. So that's just starting to help us open out through the upper back here. And as you come back to lying on your right hand side, we're now going to use the hands to help us to rise all the way up to seated. So don't feel as though you have to come all the way back onto your backs and then rise up here. Just go straight from that right hand side and find the sit bones down towards the ground. Okay. So take a moment as you nestle those sit bones down. You can cross at the shins or at the ankles here, sitting up as tall as feels comfortable, lifting the crown of the head up to the sky. And from here, let's take a deep breath in, sweep the arms up to the sky, grow tall. And then as you exhale, we're going to twist towards the right. So start to spiral. And as this spiral happens, it originates from your lower spine and works its way up. So see if we can imagine that here, starting with the lower back, mid back, upper back and your shoulders. Then we float the hands down. So left hand lands upon the right knee, right hand softly lands back behind you into that twist. Okay. So you can gaze out towards the right hand side, kind of softly spiral around, or you might want to anchor yourselves a little bit further into the twist. So you may kind of pull on this right knee to send the heart that little bit further around. And it doesn't need to be too harsh here. It's just the body kind of twisting in two opposite directions. So upper body twisting round to the right, lower body twisting round to the left. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Now as we inhale, softly starting to unravel, but you're going to keep that left hand to the right knee, and you're going to send the left hand up and over into this side body stretch. It might feel like there's less way to go because you've got the hands reaching in two opposite directions. So you've got the left hand reaching down, right arm reaching up. You can kind of lean into it slightly, stretch out through those right fingertips. Okay, can we still find the stretch down the right side body? Take a deep breath in. And then as we exhale, let's let that right hand float all the way down onto the left knee. So you end up with the arms crossed. And again, it might feel a little bit awkward. You might need to cross the knees to bring the knees a little bit closer together. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to round through the back. So you rock slightly back off your sit bones. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Breathe into that space between the shoulder blades. Beautiful. So see if you can visualize the shoulder blades separating left to right. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay. From here, as we inhale, let's softly rise up through the center. You're going to keep your right hand where it is towards that left knee. Unthread left arm, and again, we start this twist from here. So we start from the lower spine, middle of the back, upper back, releasing that left hand back behind you into the twist. Beautiful. And again, you can gaze out towards the left hand side, or maybe you anchor into the twist a little bit more, but go at a pace that feels comfortable for you. Still sitting up as tall as we can. Take a breath. Take an exhale. Inhale, starting to unravel, and we're going to sweep the left arm up and over. So again, you've got the arms reaching in the opposite direction. So you're kind of reaching left fingertips up and over towards the right. Right hand is reaching down towards the left. Beautiful. See if you can imagine this separation in between each rib. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, letting the left hand float down, and that's going to find the right knee. So you've got the arms crossed again, but you've got the opposite arm on top. Deep breath in. Exhale, rounding through the back, tucking the chin towards the chest. Beautiful. Visualizing those shoulder blades separating left to right. Okay, and then as we inhale, let's simply rise up nice and tall. Now imagine you're taking off a nice big jumper, so you're going to let the arms unravel. Inhale, stretch them up to the sky, growing taller. And as we exhale, nice and easy, let's just let the arms float all the way down. Okay, and then from here, we're going to come into tabletop. So you might come up and over through the legs, or you might just kind of nice and easy swing the legs around to one side. Bring yourselves up into a tabletop. I'm just going to grab my blanket here to give my knee a little bit of support. Okay. So as you come into your tabletop, you've got wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's move through a little bit of cat and cow. And again, thinking about the mobility of the spine, but not only how far we move here, but also how the movement feels. So perhaps noticing any clunkiness, tension, tightness. Okay. So when you're ready to, as we inhale, we let the belly glide down towards the mat. We lift up through the head and heart, lift the tailbone up to the sky, gazing ahead. And then as we exhale, we look down towards the mat, or maybe even looking down towards our knees as we tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone under, push the hands down and towards the ground, and again, separate those shoulder blades. Moving through this a couple of times, and you can keep this really slow, steady pace. So focusing on kind of moving one vertebrae at a time here, finding that wave, that ripple up and down the back. So noticing how the movement of one vertebrae kind of affects the rest. Beautiful. And we tend to kind of divide the spine into those 3, sometimes 4 sections. So we have lower back, mid back, upper back, and then we have the neck, also the vertebrae in the neck. But let's see if we can separate it even more. So again, really focusing on each individual vertebrae, noticing how it travels through space, how it moves in relationship to the rest of the vertebrae here. Beautiful, and then taking one more full round of breath. Inhale, lifting up through the head and heart. Exhale, rounding through the back. And then from this rounded spine, nice and easy, you're going to separate the knees slightly. Bring your big toes together to touch, and then melt your hips back towards your heels for a little child's pose. So you can keep stretching the fingertips forwards. Maybe you release the forehead down towards the mat here. Release through the back of the neck. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. Beautiful. Let the belly be soft. Let it rest in between the thighs. With that exhale, perhaps you notice that kind of sinking down here. Okay. And then on your next inhale, we're going to rise just slightly, creating a little bit of space away from the mat to create the fingertips round towards the left-hand side. So walking the fingertips towards the left diagonal, maybe stretching the right fingertips just a little bit further away than the left. Pressing that right shoulder down, and again, you're going to release through the back of the neck. And maybe the forehead comes down towards the mat. Keep sending your sit bones back towards your heels. So again, we've got that to reach in those 2 opposite directions. Sit bones reaching back, fingertips reaching forwards. Full breath in here. Full breath out. And then breath in, again, creating that little bit of space, lifting up slightly. We walk the fingertips back through the center, and then we're going to take it across to the right. So we're reaching as far around to the right as you want to go. Stretching the left fingertips slightly further away than the right fingertips. Press that left armpit down towards the ground. Release through the back of the neck. Beautiful. Keep melting the hips back. Okay. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale to, again, create that space, rise back up. Walk the hands back through the center. Let's maybe take one more breath in our child's pose, melting the heart down towards the mat. And then as we inhale, lifting your gaze, looking forwards towards our fingertips and staying super low to the ground. You're just going to allow this to swim the belly along the mat, maybe releasing the legs back behind you to arrive in a little sphinx. Okay. So you're going to have the forearms down towards the mat. You can separate the legs slightly out to the side, toes pointing out, heels in, making sure the elbows are underneath your shoulders. So we're kind of using the structure of our arms, the structure of our bones to kind of prop the chest up. But then we use the muscles to kind of push the forearms down into the ground, slide those shoulders down and away from the ears, lifting up maybe just that little bit higher. thinking about whether we can, again, create this image of pulling the heart through the chest. Little tiny squeeze of the shoulder blades together. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. Okay. From here, thinking about pushing down through the fingertips. You can stay exactly as you are, or maybe pushing down through the fingertips and lifting the elbows off. So you lift the chest that little bit higher, so it's a slightly deeper back bend. Full breath in. And then as we exhale, we're going to let the elbows ripple all the way back down. And as they come down, maybe we slide them out to the side. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And you're just going to allow yourselves to push up through a tabletop. So arriving back onto your hands and onto your knees. And then when you're ready, you're going to tuck the toes under. Let's fly the hips up to the sky for a little downward facing dog. Okay. So again, imagining that length through the back. Don't feel as though you need to be completely still here. So invite little bits of movement in. Bending one knee, then the other. A little pedal out through the feet. Okay. Still getting that solid foundation that's rooting down through the hands and the feet here. Take a deep breath. Take an exhale. And then as we inhale, let's look forwards towards our fingertips. Again, bend through the knees and steadily take that little stroll to the top of the mat. So walking one foot, then the other. The hands can lift away from the ground whenever they need to and arrive in your standing forward fold. Let the upper body hang over the legs here. So you can separate the feet a little bit if you want to. Let the belly kind of rest in between the thighs. Shoulders can roll forwards, release through the back of the neck, so maybe you can even look back behind you here through the legs. We don't necessarily need to focus on reaching towards the ground or the feet or the ankles. Arms can just relax. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. As we inhale, we're going to soften through the knees and steadily roll up through the spine. Again, one vertebrae at a time, stacking up bone by bone. No need to rush. We have all the time in the world. Okay. Head rises. Let's maybe take a little shoulder roll. Inhale, reach the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, send them down and away. Okay, as we come to standing, take a moment to notice how sturdy you feel on your feet. Notice the weight spread evenly between both feet, all 10 toes. Okay. And then as we inhale, let's sweep the arms up, growing even taller. Reach the fingertips up to the sky as high as you can. As you exhale, let's send the hips back. So we hinge at the hips, melting the heart forward, little bend through the knees as you go. Coming all the way back into that forward fold. Okay. As we inhale, let's find a halfway lift. So we bring the fingertips up towards the shins, finding this flat back, finding length. So we send energy out through the sit bones and energy out through the crown of the head. Take another breath. As we exhale, folding back down and see if we can maintain that length, that spaciousness through the spine. Okay. From here, bending through the knees, so much so that the hands can come down towards the ground. And we're going to step the left leg to the back of the mat. As we step that left leg back, we're going to carefully lower that left knee all the way down to the ground. Let me get my trusty little blanket again. Okay, so left knee down towards the ground, keeping right knee stacked over the right ankle, and let's simply rise all the way up to a little low lunge. Okay. Beautiful. So straight away we might feel the stretch across the front of the left hip flexor. Maybe we want to glide the hips a little bit further forwards and down. So you might feel the stretch kind of intensify slightly. You might even be able to feel the stretch all the way from this left knee, past the left hip, left side of your rib cage, left shoulder, all the way it extends out through the left fingertips. Beautiful. Take a breath. Take an exhale. And then from here, bringing the hands to the back of the head, you might interlace the fingertips here. Send the elbows out to the side. We might already have this little lift up through the heart space. Take an inhale. As we exhale, we're going to tuck the chin down towards the chest, let the elbows close. See if we can tuck the tailbone under. So again, it's like this little cat and cow motion through the spine. Inhale, we rise back up, lift up through the head and heart. Beautiful. Exhale, round through the back. Lovely. Noticing that movement one by one in each vertebrae. Inhale, lift up through the head and heart. Maybe you let the hips glide that little bit further forwards. Let's go one more time. Exhale, round through the back. Okay. Inhale to rise all the way back up. And then as we exhale, let's let the hands come down and frame that right foot. So we come all the way down to the ground here. From here, we're going to send this right leg all the way to the back, but we're going to keep it lifted, okay? As best as we can, keeping the hips square, we're going to bend in that right knee, right toes point up to the sky. So trying to keep the right toes pointing directly up, right knee pointing directly down, rather than kind of being at an angle here. Again, there's this cat-cow motion as we inhale, lift it through the head and heart, lift the right toes up to the sky, gaze ahead. And as you exhale, you're going to dive this right knee in towards the chest, round through the back. Beautiful. See if you can send your knee all the way towards your nose. As you inhale, we send it back up to the sky. Lift up through the head and heart. So you can see this kind of extension through the spine. Exhale, rounding through the spine. We're going to go one more time. Inhale, send the right leg up. Exhale, draw the right knee in. And then from here, you're going to step this right foot directly out to the right hand side. So it might come off the mat here. Right toes are going to point in the same direction you are facing. And then when you're ready to, let's maybe walk the hands towards us. We're going to rise up and find this T shape with the arms. So you're going to stretch the arms out to the side. Okay. This, I'm going to kind of leave this up to you, depending on where you want your focus to be. You either keep the right toes pointing forward, or maybe, I'm going to bring my foot to the side so you can see, or you're either going to lift those right toes up to the sky. Having the right toes pointing forwards, the stretch is going to be more towards the inner thigh. Having the right toes lifted up, you're going to get the stretch down through the back of the leg. So it's entirely up to you. Take a breath. And as you exhale, bring right hand down to either right thigh or maybe right shin as you stretch the left arm up and over. Okay, nice deep side body stretch. So when we think of the spine, we tend to think of this forward, back, flexion, extension, but we've also got this space to reach side to side. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Okay, inhale, let's rise all the way back up through that T shape. Energy out through the fingertips. Now, steadily as we go, how softly can we land this left hand down towards the left-hand side of your mat? And again, you're kind of off the mat here. This right arm is going to sweep up and over, and hopefully you can see this lift of the side body up towards the sky. It's almost like the body's being pulled in those two different directions, like we're being split in half here. Lovely. Take a deep breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to let this right arm float down, reaching back towards the mat so that both hands come down underneath the shoulders. We come back into this kind of one-legged tabletop variation. Now from here you have a couple of options. Option one, you're going to kind of spin left ankle in slightly, left knee out to the side. Keeping the right leg extended out towards the side, you melt your hips back towards that left heel, stretching the fingertips forward. So you've got this kind of wide-legged child's pose variation. So that's option one. Option two, you're going to stay grounded down through the right hand, stretching left arm up to the sky, rolling that left shoulder back. It's a little bit of an awkward twist. And then as we exhale, we dive left hand down, thread it underneath the right. Left fingertips are going to reach towards your right toes. Left shoulder comes down. Left side of the face comes down. Beautiful. So we keep the hips kind of lifted to the sky. They're kind of over the top of that left knee. pinky toe edge of the right foot down towards the ground, and we're kind of pushing down through the right fingertips slightly to roll that right shoulder back. Beautiful. Okay. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. From here, let's push down through that right hand to lift the chest. Unthread that left arm. You're going to reach it up to the sky again. And exhale, floating that left hand softly down next to right. From here, nice and easy, let's draw that right knee in. Let's tuck under the toes, hips high to the sky, downward facing dog. And again, you can have a little shake off if you need to, a little wiggle in the hips. Find the length through the spine. See if you can press your belly back to the thighs here. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let's inhale to gaze ahead, bend through the knees, and nice and easy, walk your way to the top. One teeny tiny little step at a time, all the way back into your forward fold. And again, you can separate the feet a little bit wider if you wish to, but finding this kind of hang of the upper body. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, steadily rolling up through the spine, bone by bone, one vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. Okay, drag it out for as long as you need. Head rises, let's maybe add in that little shoulder roll as we get to the top. Inhale, lift the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, send them down. Beautiful. As we come to standing here, maybe just imagining that we've created that little bit more space in between each vertebrae. So if you imagine these kind of blocks stacked on top of one another, there's this little gap in between. So it's like our spine is getting that little bit longer. We're standing that little bit taller. Okay. Take a breath. Let's sweep the arms out to the side and again grow. And as you exhale, let's hinge at the hips, melt the heart forwards. Lovely, diving back down. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to your shins, finding that flat back. And again, you've got that energy sending out back, out through the sit bones. Energy forwards, out through the crown of the head. Nice long spine. Exhale, maintain that length, maintain that space as you fold. Okay. Let's bend through the knees, let the hands come down, and this time we're going to send the right leg to the back of the mat. Gently dropping the right knee all the way down towards the ground, and again you can prop it with a blanket like I did. And then when you're ready, let's rise up, low lunge. Beautiful. You might notice one side feels a little bit different compared to the other. Sometimes we feel particularly wobbly in a low lunge. So if you're kind of losing your balance a little bit, that's okay. That's the body just working to keep the balance. It's a good sign, okay? Reaching the fingertips up to the sky, maybe feeling that stretch across the front of the right hip flexor, maybe feeling it originate from the right knee, past the right hip, right side of the rib cage, right shoulder, and extends out through the right fingertips here. So we can let those hips glide forwards as much as you wish to, but don't feel as though you need to sink all the way down. Sometimes being here is just as beneficial, maybe sometimes more, as being here, okay? So even though this might look like we're deeper into the posture, really, actually I feel less of a stretch there. I feel more of a stretch here, okay? Let's take a deep breath. Now as we exhale, let's bring the hands to the back of the head, interlace the fingertips, elbows out to the side. Deep breath in here. Exhale, we round through the back. We tuck the tailbone under, tuck the chin towards the chest. Let the elbows kind of close around the head. Inhale, lift up through the head and heart. Send the elbows out to the side. Beautiful, rising up through the upper back. Exhale, let's round. Okay. Inhale, steadily rising all the way back up. And as you lift up here, perhaps imagining there's someone's palm just kind of at the back of your shoulder blades, lifting you up here. So you find that extension across the heart space. Deep breath in. Let's go one more time. Exhale, round through the back. And inhale, rise all the way up. Okay, as we exhale, let's gently release the hands down to frame that left foot. This time we're going to send the left leg all the way to the back, keeping it lifted as we go, keeping the hips square. So we've got that foundation through the fingertips, through that right shin. We're going to bend into this left knee. So again, left toes are pointing directly up, left knee pointing directly down, so we're not kind of opening it out to the side at any point. As we inhale, we lift those left toes, we lift it through the head and heart. You've got that cat-cow motion through the spine with that added back leg. Exhale, dive the left knee in. See if you can send it all the way towards your nose. Inhale, send it up to the sky. Exhale, dive that left knee in. Inhale, send it up to the sky. Beautiful, let's go one more time. Exhale, dive the left knee in. Inhale, send it up to the sky. Exhale, dive the left knee in. And then from here, you're going to send the left foot out towards the left hand side. And again, let's keep the toes pointing in the same direction we are facing for now. Let's walk the hands towards us, steadily lifting up through the head and heart. We find this T shape through the arms. And again, it's up to you. You're either going to have toes pointing in the same direction you are facing to get that stretch through the inner thigh, or you're going to lift the toes up to the sky to get that stretch through the back of the leg. Your choice. Okay, take a breath. As you exhale, left hand comes down towards the left thigh or the left shin. Try to avoid the knee if we can. And let's reach up through those right fingertips. Beautiful, there's that side body stretch. Send your breath to the right side of the ribcage. So as we inhale, we feel the expansion of the ribcage. We feel into that stretch. As we exhale, we can soften into it. Okay. Inhale, let's gently rise all the way back up. See how softly we can float right hand down towards the right hand side. So again, we're kind of off the mat here. And then we reach this left arm up and over. And again, it's like the body's being split in those two different directions. Take a breath in. Exhale, allowing this left hand to gently float all the way down. We come into that one-legged tabletop variation, okay? I'm going to talk you through those two options again. So you might kind of swing the right ankle in slightly, send the right knee out to the side, sending the hips back towards that right heel, stretching the fingertips forwards. So you've got this child's pose variation, you've got that stretch across the inside of the left thigh. This is option 1. Or option 2, you are taking a twist. So for this side, you're going to keep the left hand grounded. Inhale, right fingertips reach up to the sky. Exhale, right hand dives down. We thread it underneath the left, so right fingertips kind of reach towards the left toes. Drop the right shoulder down. Lovely, well done. We keep the hips lifted. So you've got this little twist here. So in this variation, it's less of a stretch for the inner thigh. It's more of a twist for the upper back. Okay. So we kind of push down through the left fingertips to roll that left shoulder back. See if we can keep the pinky toe edge of that left foot down. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. From here, ground down through that left hand, lift the chest, unthread that right arm, reach it back up to the sky for that awkward twist. Breath in. Exhale, right hand softly floats back down, lands underneath that right shoulder, and we can fold that left knee back in. Beautiful. Coming through our tabletop, maybe let's take a quick little downward facing dog just to stretch the back of the legs, reach the hips up to the sky. And again, you can have little bits of movements here if you wish. Beautiful. One more breath in. And then as we breathe out, we can steadily make our way to seated. So feel free to go however you wish. You might drop the shins down. Swing the ankles around to one side. Bring yourselves down to the ground as softly as we can. Okay. And then let's maybe bring the soles of the feet together, but instead of bringing them super close towards your body, let's actually send them a little bit further away. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. If you feel as though the knees need a little bit of support here, you can maybe grab a couple of blocks or cushions at whatever height to kind of give the knees a little bit of support so they can rest down here rather than kind of awkwardly hanging in space. So feel free to bring those in. I might keep mine there for now. So with the feet slightly further away from you, you've got a little bit more space. You've got this slightly wider diamond shape out in front. Option one, you may begin to thread the arms underneath the ankles, so the kind of ankles rest into the palms of the hand. You can take a breath. As you exhale, you might softly fold, let the spine round here. The forearms might come down to the ground. But if the hands don't feel comfortable underneath the feet, just take them out, bring the hands on top of the feet maybe, or let the hands come to a place that feels better for you. You might I sometimes like to take my hands to wrap around the toes, feel that warmth there. And again, we let the forehead relax down. So taking this nourishing forward fold here, maybe getting that little opening through the hips. Using this as an opportunity just to start drawing ourselves back in, drawing our awareness in. Notice how we feel. Notice the breath traveling up and down the length of your spine here. So with every inhale, there's that kind of rising upwards. This kind of wave traveling up from the very base of your spine, all the way up to the top of the neck. And then as we exhale, soften into the fold. So you can stay with that wave for a few more moments here. With every exhale, allowing yourselves to kind of drop that little bit more into the pose, into the practice, into your bodies. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. And then as we inhale, let's steadily rise back up. Walk your hands towards you. Take your time here as we stack up bone by bone. We can remove out any props out from underneath us and just place them to one side. And then giving your legs a little bit of assistance here, so we bring the knees to the hands, to the outside edge of the knees, draw them up to a close. You might like to take a moment with the feet slightly wider than your body, swaying the knees from side to side a couple of times. And then in your own time, you're going to bring yourselves down onto your backs. Okay. So you might like to come into a similar place to how we started. Soles of the feet down to the ground, knees pointing up to the sky, taking care again as we steadily lower down, bone by bone. Beautiful. Keeping the knees bent allows us to kind of, I suppose, protect the lower spine that little bit more. You might feel the lower spine softly melting into the mat. Or if you decide to stretch the legs out ahead of you, you might notice that little gap between the lower spine on the mat, that natural curve there. Okay. So choose a place that feels best for you. And then just simply allowing yourselves to rest, start to sink into your Shavasana. The breath can come to that steady, natural pace. And once again, we can allow ourselves to feel rooted down, supported by the earth beneath. But at the same time, there's this potential, there's this floating sensation. We are free to go wherever we wish, as long as we still have that foundation beneath. Let's just be with that for a few moments here. Allow the earth to rise up to greet you, welcome you here. And sink into this state of peace, calm and quiet. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, softly sighing out through the mouth, and again, deep breath in, deep breath out. One more time, deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Gently start to wiggle through the fingertips and toes, rotating the wrists, the ankles. Welcome back any little bits of movement that feel beneficial for your body here and now. You can take a stretch, curl yourselves up, have a good old yawn if you wish. And then when you're ready, choosing a side, the left or the right. Let's roll to that one side. Using your hands to help you as we steadily rise all the way back up. And again, we're going to come to that comfortable seated position here. Crossing at the shins or the ankles. Nestling the sit bones down into the ground. Let's bring the palms of the hands on top of the knees. Slide those shoulders down and away from those ears, closing the eyes as we seal the practice as always with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries, and may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. May you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, the palms of the hands come together in front of the heart, and we bow. Thank you so much, YouTube yogis, for joining me for that little yoga for spine flow. I hope you're feeling a little bit more free, a little bit more spacious in your bodies, and I hope that stays with you for the rest of the day, for the end of time. So I'll be back on the mat with you very soon, hopefully in about a week or so, and I hope to see you then. All right, until then, bye.